There we go. Hey, everybody. Hi. There's muted. All right, we'll wait one more minute and then we'll jump in. All right. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. What my goal was is to just touch base, sort of reach out. Things have changed a lot in the past year, and the Wharton Behavioral Lab has been affected pretty profoundly because we were so heavily based on in-person lab studies. Still, as many of you know, we've been shifting to conducting a lot of studies online, both with online samples like mTOR prolific samples, but also using the students and staff for online samples as well. So we have sort of campus-based online samples and sort of the more traditional online samples. We plan to continue with both of those samples, but we're also going to start going back in person. And what I wanted to do was just reach out, give you a sense of what changes we have coming on campus, and you'll be able to see our new space. We've got terrifically exciting new space that's been renovated. The space is different from what we had pre-COVID, and this space is better in some specific ways, and we'll talk about those. So basically, I just wanted to go through, introduce the team, talk about the newly renovated space, talk about the plans for in-person and remote studies. We're about to relaunch the invitations to schedule on-campus studies, and we're going to talk about how we use the Behavioral Lab pool, and then I'll be here for any Q&A at the end. So this is just our first, our first Wharton Behavioral Lab event of the year. One of the things I'd like to do going forward, and one of the things I want to solicit your feedback for, I'd like to do workshops to think about some of the methods that we have in place, where we could do workshops for things like, if people are interested in learning about physio measures, eye tracking, facial coding, behavioral coding, to think about workshops that we might be running through the Wharton Behavioral Lab to help support research that you might be interested in doing. So that's the broad overview. And what makes the Behavioral Lab so great are the people. And what I want to do is help introduce the team. I'm the faculty director, but I couldn't do anything without the incredible support of all of the people that actually run the Wharton Behavioral Lab. I'll have them introduce themselves. The one person I really want to introduce and sort of like kick this off is Emily Rosa. Emily Rosa is new to our team. We were lucky to be able to bring her on board. As many of you know, we lost Monse, who is so incredible, but Emily is fitting into those big shoes. Emily's also in charge of our social media presence, which we're substantially expanding. So let me turn it over to the staff just to say a few words of introduction, to put some faces to names you might have seen in emails.
Hi, everyone. I'm Emily. I'm the new lead lab coordinator. And yeah, I'm really excited to be here and fill Monse's shoes.
Hi, I'm Sue. I handle anything online. So MZERC, Prolific, Qualtrics specialized panels. Reach out to me if you have any questions about any of those platforms.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mary Spratt. I am the Senior Research Coordinator for On-Campus Studies. This includes studies run in the physical lab, as well as those running remotely using our on-campus pool.
All right, just muting everyone to get rid of some noise. Hi, I'm Robert Votto. My role is to support, I guess, technology in the lab. Most of the lab runs on some form of technology, so I have very broad responsibilities. So that includes all of our software, our participant management software, our experiment management software, stuff that you interface with as a researcher, and then specifically in the lab, our higher tech protocols. So if you're doing eye tracking, any methods that involve physio measures, you'll usually work with me, and I'll help facilitate that. And I also worked a lot on designing our new lab space, and I think we're going to move forward into a sort of virtual tour of our new space over in Steinberg-Dietrich. So let me share my screen and jump into the slideshow. Great. So here's the bird's eye view of our floor plan. I'll guide you through this. This is, if you've been at Wharton for a while, you may know the old reprographic space. That's where we are now, close to the Mac Pavilion entrance of Steinberg-Dietrich Hall. Here's just a quick overview. Our old operations included 2 lab spaces, one in Huntsman and one in Steinberg-Dietrich, each seated 20 participants, and each had a small focus room or breakout room. So we replicated those 2 20-seat labs, but they're essentially next to one another. We expanded the offering of breakout or focus group rooms, so we now have 6. They are a little different from the old ones in that they're not separated, say, from a control room through one-way glass. They are instead have video surveillance monitoring capabilities, and we'll look at some of that in this tour. We have a participant waiting area, so rather than just create a traffic jam in a hallway, which is our old way of doing things, we now have our own waiting area. And as I mentioned, some new technology, mostly to do with cameras and automated recording. I'm going to follow this pattern where I'll show the floor plan with a little highlighted area. So this is actually our entrance highlighted right in the middle. And here is a photo of Emily welcoming you to our new space. You see we do have a screen in there, which content to be determined what we'll show on that. When a participant first comes to lab, they'll walk into that waiting room space that's highlighted on the screen. We have bench, some tables. Here's Mary, Sue, and Emily. You can see Sue and Emily on the left are at one of our check-in windows. So this is where participants will initially check in, will be directed to whichever lab space that they are scheduled to participate in that day. On the way out, that's also where they'll go to receive their payment and submit any paperwork that they might have. Highlighted here at the bottom are the 220 seat lab spaces. Pretty generic. They're basically computer labs. We are currently, you'll notice, not running at full capacity. We are keeping we plan to keep participants socially distanced for the near future. And so we have computers just in every other cubicle space for the moment. These are the breakout rooms. 3 are at the bottom, in the bottom space. We can enter from the main lab space. 3 actually you enter from the hallway. You'll see on the other side there. The rooms have 3 cameras each and capability to expand that more if necessary. The idea being that we might want to have, we want to prioritize like a 2-person a dyadic interaction and have a maybe head and shoulder shot of the 2 participants plus a overhead view. We also have some microphone and even talkback capabilities. Here you'll see what that might look like. Here, Sue and Emily are sitting in the room. On the left and on the right, you'll see from our camera control station, the 3-channel video feed from that room of the 2 of them talking, and then a sort of overall view of the room. We still have, we'll probably use those rooms for some of our smaller high touch physio, especially physio recording experiments and eye tracking. So we still have 6 eye trackers that we can install in those rooms. We have our equipment for doing heart rate and skin conductance, both from BioPack and from Shimmer Sensing, the camera systems, and as part of a data analysis pipeline, we could run some of those videos through automated coding, especially of facial expression coding and other behavioral coding software. If you want to tour, reach out to Mary. If you want to talk about the technologies, I guess also reach out to Mary or to me directly. As Marie said, we plan on maybe doing some workshops focusing on these areas to those who are interested. And with that, I think I'm going to hand it back to Mary.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you all so much for coming. I think I speak for the entire team when I say that we're very excited to get back to the new lab and in-person research, and I hope to see and work with all of you in the coming months. Let me take you through how we think this is going to look in the short term and review some of the basics of running studies through the WBL. You have a few options for running studies with us. Obviously, you can run in person. We haven't done that in a while. In-person studies take place on campus in the lab, and currently they will be open to UPenn students and staff only. Secondly, you can also continue running remotely, just as we have been for the last 1.5 years. Remote studies target on-campus participant pools and are open to students, staff, and community members. Lastly, you can run online studies using special panels such as MTurk, Prolific, and Qualtrics. Everyone is probably accustomed to the remote and online options, but it has been a minute since we have been in the lab. So let's review how that works. I am very happy to announce, as Maurice mentioned earlier, that after this meeting, I will be emailing a call out for new experiments. This request cycle will open today, and you will have until next Friday to submit your requests. If you have not already done so, you will need to register as an experimenter in order to be able to submit a request. Once you register, if you are a new experimenter, you should shoot me an email so I can expedite that process for you. And I also imagine that many of you will not be ready to submit on such short notice, but don't worry. This cycle is very short and the next call out will be in mid-November. Some notes due to the COVID situation. The physical lab will be open to UPenn students and staff only. We are running at half capacity, which means 10 seats per time slot, at least for the foreseeable future. And we do anticipate a fairly slow startup, but we are hoping that we will be running at a more normal pace by spring. If you are ready to submit a request, you can do so by following the link listed here. All of this information, again, will be in the call out, so you don't need to worry about taking notes or remembering anything right now. It will all be in that email. In addition to running in the lab, you can continue to run remotely, as I said, using our on-campus pool. The remote request cycle will remain open indefinitely, so you can submit anytime. These studies are open to the entire pool, students, staff, and also community members, and are scheduled on a first come, first served basis. You can access the remote request form on our website or by following the link provided here. The process for running online special panels has not changed at all. Special panels include MTurk, Prolific, and Qualtrics. Requests to run should be sent to Sue McCafferty via email directly. And if you are new to our research community, please contact Sue for details on what information is required for both the study request and also reimbursements. At this point, I think I'd like to switch over to Maurice for little questions and answers. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. Maurice?
Thanks, Mary. So just sort of like recap, we're back on campus. We have a plan for a relatively slower start. If anyone wants a tour of the space, reach out to Mary Spratt. For any specific questions about technology, Robert Botto is our expert. And for online panels, it's Sue McCafferty. But you can reach out to any of us at any time for any questions. What I'd like to do, Mary's about to send out the requests for time for in-person studies, but I'm also curious to know about your interest for possible workshops in the future for things like the physio measures or behavioral coding and so on. But let me sort of pause here and just see if anybody has any questions for any of us. Yeah, Vera.
Hi, thanks. This is really amazing. It's always a pleasure to work with the Wharton Behavioral Lab. By the way, it's so great and convenient and amazing. So thank you first of all for that. And yeah, I might be interested to run like studies with physiology in person. And I'm actually interested to do a format where always 2 people are paired, and they're like maybe like 10 people would come in if that's possible for COVID regulations, etc. And then like you pair 2 of them, and then the next 2, so that you get several diets. Would that be possible in that space, or if not, outside? Or
Yeah, so the short answer is yes, anything's possible. The great news is we have 6 breakout rooms, and so we can move people into rooms, and we could shift people. We could also do things in the bigger lab spaces.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we'll try to make anything work. I mean, subject to the constraints that we have a certain amount of limited space and a lot of demand, but we will try to work to make anything happen.
Great. And I guess do participants have to still wear masks? I suppose yes, right, at the moment. Okay.
So for now. For now, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, which is going to make facial coding bad.
Yeah.
I mean, bad as in not. It is unworkable. So I don't know.
It is.
Yeah, we're sort of stuck with that right now. I mean, I guess we could get clear. I don't know.
Clear mask, maybe. Yeah.
Clear mask. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, we are limited. We are limited in some ways. I'm very eager to get back to the full density in the lab, but we're limited right now. So
of course.
So we're sort of back, but it's but it's a little different.
Yeah, but it's great that we can already do so much. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's a question.
Thank you so much.
I think there were, so
Enough
Americans-
has a question,
I
I
love
think.
that.
And
Yeah. Yeah, who is the question?
so I know I've asked about the cameras and the voice feed, about questions about recording and associated IRB. I don't have anything specific about IRB, except that we would work with you to talk about with them about secure data storage and access, just like any other data we would collect. Full face images are generally protected health information, so that would be subject to privacy concerns. So the system itself is very adaptable. Right now, it's a closed system. Any recordings would just be on a local network, not connected to PenNet or anything like that. How we would deliver videos to you for analysis or to some data pipeline for automated analysis, we would work that out with you. That we've tried to design the system to be as maximally adaptive, but with while maintaining the most restrictive from a security perspective by default environment for recording. I don't know if that helps.
Thanks. Yeah, this is super helpful. And as I mentioned in the chat, this is super impressive, and I'm sure it was a lot of hard work. So thanks. And just in terms of IRB, yeah, I know this is not your domain, but given that, it might be helpful to have a workshop for some templates
I agree.
for future usage of different sources.
That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm really excited for us to start doing some workshops, and I love that idea. I think an IRB related workshop and having templates on our website is a really great. I mean, like, our job is to facilitate research to make it easier to get research done, and we're really receptive to ideas like that. And I'm eager to look for people interested in workshops and people willing to share their expertise in these workshops too.
I had a quick question. Is there a specific point person on the team that we might be able to direct any IRB workers for further clarification while we're in the process?
That's interesting. We haven't really been involved in IRBs. We've been involved in sort of everything. I mean, we've been on the mechanics of getting the studies done.
Mhm.
We don't have an IRB person, but we'll try to make more resources available on our website. I'm a little reticent to sort of wade into the IRB because I know that it can be pretty idiosyncratic. So yeah, I don't have a great answer for that.
Yeah, I think that, yeah, in general, we're not involved in the IRB in your review process, but there are cases where they have questions for you that maybe you require some information from us to answer. One that comes up frequently is like how recruitment works. And you might not know that because that's one of the areas where we step in and we provide a service. So I think that we can provide some of the materials that you would then provide. We've done that before, but we could make it a little more standardized just to help streamline your application process.
Excellent. That would be very helpful. Thank you.
Sorry, just a quick question, Maurice. This is stepping a little bit back and just to get your perspective on this, because I think this has been sort of a conversation that a lot of folks have been having in the context of the so-called replication crisis. So I'm wondering, are we thinking about, setting up protocols whereby we will be able to protect against any of the issues that come up with respect to, our friends downstairs in the data colada, group coming forward and having a way that we can kind of quickly, or I guess to ask it this way, are we building in kind of things into our process that would help us address any potential issues or challenges that might come up? I'll say it that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really interesting question. I mean, the way I sort of see our role is we're here to facilitate data collection. we're not in the business of storing data. So you run the study, you collect the data. It doesn't sit on our server. We don't make backup recordings of it. We have been involved in outside cases where some university officials have come to us asking us, hey, so-and-so's under investigation. Can you give us records? I'm like, no, I mean, we don't have records of their data. We can't tell you if, this faculty member collected that data. So, and I think that that's the right, I mean, we're here to facilitate what the scholar would do, but we're not designed to sort of create backups. We're designed to do audits. I think
Understood.
doing replicable work is critical, but
yeah, it falls outside of the purview, I think. Okay. I just was wondering whether, what the thought leadership was around that. What was the perspective, that kind of thing. It's very useful.
Yeah, no, thanks. All right. Well, thanks so much. I wanted to keep this short. And I want to keep this, as a sort of an open conversation. So to put faces to names, as you have questions that come up, feel free to reach out to us. We're sort of eager to support and help research in any way that we can. And I just want to really thank the entire Wharton Behavioral Lab team. I think our lab is the best anywhere. And it's really thanks to the incredible support we have from the school, the support we have from the faculty, but it's really the incredible staff who've had a rough year along with everyone else. But we've tried to keep this train moving and we've had a few curveballs. But I want to thank Mary Spratt. I want to thank Robert Botto, Sue McCafferty. I'm super excited that Emily Rose has joined us. And we have some other members of the team also that sort of, support us. Alec Lamont is our liaison with Wharton Computing, and we're just incredibly well supported and just appreciate everything that you guys have done.
Sorry, just one quick question, Maurice. How do we get access to the recording of this?
Oh, to the recordings?
Yeah. Of this meeting.
Oh, the meeting. So this will be on our website. So
okay.
So basically, our social media presence has been slight before. It's going to get bigger. That'll be on the recording. We'll set up. Mary, can that be in the link that we send out?
Absolutely. We haven't quite decided, the number of places it's going to be, but it will be in the email.
Great.
So
Great. All right. And Nancy, any
I just wanted to say thank you to you, Maurice, and to the entire Wharton Behavioral Lab staff for just providing this really important service for the behavioral side of research at Wharton. I think I've been a beneficiary of what you do in the past in my own, research. And I know that you do really excellent work. I know how hard it's been this last year. And we really appreciate your helping us get back to some in-person as well as continuing the online types of panels that we've been doing in the past year. But I know that our faculty are so grateful for everything you do. And I just deep thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Nancy. All right. Well, reach out anytime. We're here. Our goal is to make you more productive. So just let us know how we can help. All right. The call out's coming in minutes. All right.